Hello, AP Bio parents. This is Mr. Holtz, and I just want to spend a little bit of time giving you a sense of AP Biology, how the classes run, and some things you might want to know, like late work policy, what the grading system is, and how to contact me, and things like that. So, the screen that you're seeing right now is the Google Classroom. This is kind of the teacher view, so it might look a little bit different than what you might see if your son or daughter logs into their Google Classroom. I do believe there is a way that you can log into my classroom as a parent or guardian. I'm not entirely sure how that works. I'll have to see if I can figure that out. But if you want to see like which assignments are being assigned and when the due dates are and what scores that your child is getting on those assignments, you can just ask them, hey, show me the Google Classroom. And you can see for each assignment when the due date is. If you click on it, it'll give the information about it and stuff like that. So that's my recommendation. If you can't sign in as a parent or guardian, just ask them, show me the Google Classroom, and you can see everything. And also, I think on the student version, it has like a big to-do list, and not just for one class, but it puts everything for all classes. Like, here's what's coming up in terms of due dates. So that's a good way to kind of keep track of that. Right now, I want to kind of, or first of all, so I split it up by unit. So we're just finishing Unit 1 biochemistry. If you're watching this and it's Thursday evening, tomorrow they have their first unit exam. So hopefully they're studying for that. But I'm going to go down to the resources, and the very first thing under resources is the syllabus. Hopefully, you guys have already looked at the syllabus, but there's a couple of things I just want to point out to you. First of all, this is my email, nholtz@socs.k12.ca.us. This is the best way to reach me, and I'm trying my best to keep up with emails in this distance learning online format. I have a lot more emails than I used to. And as of right now, I have about 200 unread emails. So I'm trying my best to keep up with that and keep up with the late work and the homework and grading and stuff. Working long hours and working weekends, it's difficult, and I'm sure it's difficult for you, and I'm sure it's difficult for your kids. We're kind of all going through that. But anyway, so a couple of things. The first thing that I give like a big warning even before class starts in the fall, even before summer. I try and tell students, if they're interested in AP Bio, I try and warn them about the rigor of the class, because it is a college level course. And a lot of students don't understand that, or kind of ignore that when they come into the class, and they're in for a rude awakening. And so because it's a college course, I teach it in that way, same level of rigor, and the pace is really, really fast. So usually we're going through 2 chapters, and there's sometimes we're even going through 3 chapters a week. So really fast pace, and those chapters are not easy. Sometimes they're 30 pages long of really, really dense material, and they have to know that stuff. So it's not breadth or depth of knowledge, it's breadth and depth of knowledge. They have to know a lot about a lot of things. And so I assign things quickly. I've been recording lectures so they can watch lectures on their own time. Um, and they have to do summary sheets. And also, we have to do lab stuff. So to get the AP accreditation, I need to show that they're doing the laboratory component. So about 25% of the class time, instructional time, should be labs, and so I'm trying my best to have them do labs at home. And you may have been wondering why your son or daughter had a bunch of pill bugs and they were messing with them, because they just did their pill bug lab, and now they're going to be doing an enzyme lab. They may have started it this week, but so that also presents like we might need to have them pick up materials on their own. I always tell students, if they're having trouble getting materials, to let me know, and I can see if I can get the materials to you. But yeah, so there's a lot of things: doing summary sheets, doing labs, and the lab notebooks are a really big part of their grade this year. So I have students every single year that break down and they cry and they wonder why they're in the class and things like that. And that's not my goal. I don't want students to cry and to break down. And mental health is really important. But it's kind of just the way, like, there's so much information that they have to get in before May, before the actual AP exam, that it's just kind of the way that the class has to be run. Um, but it is usually, students usually find that it's worth it in the end. And I've been teaching this class. This is my fourth year teaching AP Bio. In the last 3 years, the students have been very, very successful. I'm talking about anywhere between 92 to 96% pass rate on the AP exam. So it works. I push the students really hard, and I force them to push themselves really hard. And like I said, it usually pays off in the end. But if your son or daughter is really struggling, and like I said, mental health comes first, I always tell students, like, contact me, let me know, and we can kind of figure out. I can push deadlines back and things like that. But again, kind of giving you a sense that this is a college level class, and if for a lot of students, this may be the first AP class that they're taking. Usually, if they've taken AP Chemistry last year, they're a lot more successful in AP Bio this year because they kind of understand the rigor and how it goes and things like that. But if your son or daughter has not taken AP Chemistry, um, it, there's a little bit of a learning curve when it comes to the pace and the rigor of an AP class. And this may be the first time that they don't have an A. It could be first B or even first C in a class. And like I said, that's just kind of the way it is. But I try my best to get students, like, learning as quickly as possible some strategies to get them to be successful in this class. So in terms of grading, this is actually flip flop from last year. So last year, so total assessments and tests and final was 70% last year, 70% of the total grade, and homework, classwork, and lab notebook was 30. The problem is a lot harder to have students not collaborate on online tests or look up information, collaborate. Um, and so I flip flop these. So a lot less pressure on tests, but more pressure on the work. And I've been grading lab notebooks really strenuously, and that's kind of where most of the points are coming from this year. Um, but yes, that just kind of gives you a sense of the work. Um, let's see, what else do I want to talk about? There's this weekly plan. So if you're ever wondering what we're doing each week, um, back on the resources page. Oops, didn't want to click on that. Under resources, there's right under syllabus, there's the weekly plan. And I update this every single week with what we're doing in Zoom when Zoom starts. So it says Zoom time and agenda. So what we're doing that day, and then any work assigned, and then any work due that day. So if you're ever wondering and you want to see what's going on for the week, you can just open up these slides and you get a good sense of what's going on. Um, yeah. Last thing, attendance and punctuality, late work. So late work will be accepted without penalty no later than the next class after the official due date. So if a student is like, let's say I have a summary sheet due on a specific day, and a student comes up to me and says, look, I had a history project that I was working on all weekend and I didn't get to do the reading and do the summary sheet yet. Can I turn that in next class? Perfectly fine. Like I said, I understand, especially a lot of if your son or daughter is taking multiple AP classes or honors classes or whatever, high rigor classes. I understand that sometimes due dates line up, and it's really they're kind of bombarded with a lot of work. So I tell students to just let me know if they need a little bit of extra time, and I'm usually good with giving extra time. Um, yeah, but really important that they try and get that to me by the very next class period. Um, Other than that, oh, the one thing I forgot to mention before I end this is for grading. Let's see, where is it? Grading. Oh, it's back up at the top. I use, does it say it here? I can't find exactly where it says it, but I use Jupyter Grading. So that's the grading system that I use. And I believe it was 3 weeks ago, I sent out a mass email to all the parents giving them the login information for Jupyter. So if you do not have access to Jupyter right now, I would recommend looking back through your email, look in your spam folder, search for Jupyter, and you might see that you might see that email that has the login information, has a temporary password, and then it asks you to change the password into an actual password. But also, I believe there are a lot of cases where just one parent is in the Jupyter system, and if you're the other parent, you're like, no, I also want access. You can just send me an email, and I can get you access to Jupyter. I try my best to keep Jupyter as updated as possible. But like I said, I've also been kind of bogged down with the amount of work with distance learning and stuff. So if you're really curious about how your son or daughter is doing, I recommend just asking them to pull up their Google Classroom, and you can see what assignments they've missed, what scores they've gotten on assignments, and all that good stuff. Okay, again, if you guys have any questions, please email me. I'll try to get to those emails in a timely manner. Otherwise, have a lovely evening. Thank you.